Right now, I'm currently working on a pie. So kind of bear with me. I'll I'll kick all this off once I'm done messing with this pie. It's a whipped cream pie, so it's not going to take too long. I'm just working on the crust right now. It's in the oven browning, so that I can pull the whipped topping out and fill it. So yeah, bear with me. I'll get going momentarily. Sit back and enjoy the tunes, because the tunes don't exist on the past broadcast. Well, we got about 5.5, 6 minutes. So, so move Spotify. Oof. I'm not gonna go all the way through Baron's stream. I'm gonna find his opening statement. Is Erica Kirk a sheep dipped intelligence asset?
All right, here we go. This is why I need a producer. I say that every day.
Let's do his
That's
opening
not
statement.
on the list, though. All right. Sheep dipping is a practice deeply embedded in the operations of intelligence agencies. Both foreign and domestic agencies use this practice. The term originates from agricultural practices where sheep are dipped in a chemical bath to rid them of parasites. In the intelligence world, it refers to the process of cleansing or disguising an asset's true affiliation by immersing them in a fabricated civilian identity. This
I've
technique
never heard
allows
of it.
assets to operate undercover without arousing suspicion. It effectively severs visible ties to the intelligence community while maintaining covert connections.
Okay. Oops.
Erica's
Too far.
Guys, I've got a very bizarre story. It's so bizarre, I was not going to go with it. I wasn't going to talk about it at all, but I can't not play it. The reason is because it is so bizarre. It is so disturbing. Here's why I wasn't going to play it. And if you look at the title, you know what I'm talking about. The allegedly creepy, alleged relationship with alleged 15-year-old. This is Erica Franzwe we're talking about. Back when she was 25, 26 years old, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And I wasn't going to go forward with it. And I decided to take tonight's show a completely different direction. And then today, as I was thinking about it, I thought, what if we went back to when Charlie Kirk was 25 years old? What if we went back to 11 years ago, or when was that, 6 years ago? And we find out that Charlie Kirk had this exact same text message relationship with a 15-year-old. What would we do? Would we talk about it? And I think the answer to that's yes. Not because this does.
I think it'd be he wouldn't be looked at. Well, let's face it. He wouldn't be the same Charlie Kirk he was before he got assassinated. He wouldn't have gotten the reception he got before he was assassinated. And who knows? He may have not ever gotten so big that it put him in the crosshairs to be assassinated. If Charlie Kirk was canceled, I think he died when he was 35, 36 years old. If he was canceled when he was 25 years old, his organization would have went nowhere. It would have went nowhere. It would have died. It would have been worse than dead on arrival. It wouldn't have even been able to leave anywhere. All that crust. So I don't believe Charlie Kirk would have been the Charlie Kirk we know of today. He would have been canceled already, and he sure as hell wouldn't have been able to be allowed on college campuses, let alone around any children at all. All right, the crust is out of the oven. We're gonna let it cool to room temperature before we put our filling in it. The filling is otherwise cold and frozen, so we're gonna need to bring the temperature way down on the pie crust. It's sitting in an aluminum foil pie tin, so that should help in bringing the temperature down. But yes, Charlie Kirk would have been canceled before he even got started.
Doesn't happen in America. It does.
I'd like to know how she flew under the radar. But again, there are probably tons and tons and tons of people who are currently having relationships with an underage children and getting away with it because they haven't been baited by people like Alex Rosen yet. So yeah,
it's unfortunate, but it does. But we would talk about it because the consequences of heading up an organization the size of TPUSA while simultaneously having this documented past, is highly problematic. It opens you to blackmail. It opens you to being used in ways perhaps even you don't want to. So I am going to play it. This is a video from NISC Social, NISSCEE.social on YouTube. If you want to watch the whole thing, please do. I'm only going to play clips of it. I have several clips, but they're like range 15 to 20 seconds long each. The reason is because the rest of it is her commentary or background, and I want to give my own commentary and background. And some of it may mirror hers, and some of it may be slightly different. But I do want to give.
Yeah, I do like
that,
hearing other people's commentary and
give that plug to her,
commenting on
because
that.
if you are interested in
not
seeing more
everybody's
of
like
it,
that.
she does a great job. She really does do a good job. But I want to open with this image. This is the opening image that she talks about. That's Erica Franz.
Is this the person's in the I'd assume this is going to be the person in question. This person looks drugged up. They look like they don't even know what they're looking at.
Or on the right, I can't tell which. They both have a bad frost.
I'd say
And
this
frankly, so
this
does
is
the man
Eric
on the
Kirk.
Is that a man?
That's a dude.
The whole picture's weird, but they're eating pizza.
There's an Adam's apple right here.
And as we've learned in the Podesta emails, as we learned in the Einstein emails,
Does look very young. Like, you could definitely tell makeup is caked. Look at the shine. Look at the shine. The gleam of the flash against her makeup face. Her makeup face. Like, she's definitely wearing it. She's got it caked on pretty thick. Which makes sense of this whole weird pizza eating action. Like, this chick don't even care. She's going in hard. It looked like she's actually being fed by somebody else. This guy looks like he's doped up and doesn't know what's happening. Like, ecstasy's got him by the tiny little grapes. But this is a dude. Looks feminine, but this is a dude.
when you're talking about pizza, you're not always talking about pizza. But I think that's her in the middle. I think that's her in the middle.
Oh, why? They've ruined it. They've ruined a great food. We can't look at pizza and hot dogs the same ever again. And now beef jerky is being thrown in the mix. It's ruined. It's all ruined.
But I want to let her introduce the 15-year-old girl that 25-year-old Erica Franzve is striking up a relationship with. So here is how she introduces it.
And oddly enough, 15 days before she posted this picture, she began an interesting relationship with a 15-year-old girl named Jillian. I spent hours looking into this and even heard from Jillian herself.
Chick.
And I think you guys are going to want to hear this.
I agree.
That's
You're
definitely a
gonna wanna hear
dude.
this.
There's no way.
But I wanted to allow
the one
her
that was on this
to
side's a
give the
dude.
opening. I'm
There's
going to
no way
skip the
that's a chick.
commercial she does and launch right into some of the content here. So this is the first
Franzve? What kind? Looks like Germany. Franzve. Germanic and Slavic. Franz. Francis. Meaning Frenchman or freeman. Etymology derived from Franz. Geographical roots primarily associated with Germanic and Swedish origins. Immersion in Holy Roman Empire. Franzvag. Franzva. Franzva. My name is Sir Franzva. I have come to diddle your grapes. While having Germanic roots, the name saw significant presence in Sweden, with records showing Franzve families in Sweden from the 19th century to the mid-20th century. The name reflects typical medieval surname development, often used to identify individuals based on origin. in this case, likely indicating connection to France or the Frankish people. Whoa. Hi, my name is Erika Franz. I'm here to steal your children. for acting crazy. All right. Oh, I forgot my drink. But yeah, I made chocolate banana whipped topping, and I turned it into a pie. Topping is really good. Can't wait till it's hardened up as a pie, because it's gonna be really good. Ugh. We got 1040. 1040. All right, so let's hear
how they met,
about
how the 25-year-old Erica Kirk strikes up this relationship with a 15-year-old in Michigan. Now, there's a fact that comes out in here that I was not aware of. I knew that Erica Kirk had lived in Puerto Rico. I knew that Erica Kirk had lived in China. I think there was a Croatian element at one point. I know she lived in New York. I know she'd lived in Cincinnati. I know she lived in
around the block.
Scottsdale. I was unaware that she had ever lived in Michigan. That was something, part of her bio that had gotten past me. But apparently when she was 25 years old, she was dating a basketball player in Michigan. And I guess it moved there, or at least was there quite a lot to strike up this relationship with a, at the time, 15-year-old.
This woman. Back in 2013, Erica was 25 years old, and she was in a relationship with a basketball player named Joshua Harrelson. So at the time, he was living in Michigan, and Erica moved out there to be with him. On the evening of September 15th, 2013, Joshua Harrelson and Erica met a 15-year-old girl named Jillian Falcon. And I know this because Jillian tweeted about it. At 3:53 p.m., Jillian tweeted that she was out for sushi with her friend, and 2 hours later, she tweeted, "Just met Miss Arizona and Josh Harrelson, heart eyes emoji." Now,
so that's the beginning of it. That's the beginning of their relationship. What we don't know is the circumstances that caused them to meet. And as the host here says, and
just
she does
sounds
a great
like
job of it,
an innocent
the host says
little meet your
apparently there was
your
some
heroes
connection
type
between
deal.
where Erica was living and I'm getting a lot of people saying slow it down. So I'm going to slow it down. I had it on 1.5 because there are several clips, but I'll just play normal speed. I don't care. Apparently, there was some connection between
most videos
a friend
at
and
two times speed,
a house that was being leased and all that.
and
But I don't know if that was
everything.
how they met or not. But somehow they meet.
I listen to things back for
And if you're a
dramatic effect.
25-year-old and you meet a 15-year-old, it should end there. Hey,
listen to
enjoyed
it
eating
slowly for
hot
dramatic.
dogs and pizza with you, or enjoyed eating chicken wings with you, or enjoyed eating Chinese food with you. And that should be the end of the conversation. But in this case, it wasn't. It takes a very weird turn here. And so I will let her pick back up and tell you just how weird this turn is.
Before I share the information that I found, I need to make sure that I say this. Do not bother Jillian. Do not message her. Do not leave comments on her social media. Leave her alone. I'm not doing this video to cause any trouble for Jillian. So please do not reach
She's trying
out
to cause trouble
She's
for
a grown
Erica.
woman now, but at
Got
the time
him.
she was 15 when she met Erica. And the reason that I'm doing this video is because, in my opinion, Erica's behavior was predatory and it needs to be exposed. Jillian was just a child at the time. She was a teenage girl. Please don't bother her, okay?
Leave her alone.
Okay, so I agree with this, by the way. And this is something I say
Yeah.
a lot when we cover things on this program.
Yeah, you never harass people. Don't harass
Let people do research in the background, but try to avoid the bombardment of these people. Try to avoid contacting people. Try
And
to
that's
avoid reaching out to them.
what I was saying about the whole Valhalla VFT and private snuffy thing. While it was good to dig up the dirt, don't sick your community on them because you think that they're the way they are with women and children is enough to discredit their what they see and experience. So bad. You want to try being picked up? Up? Work your little legs. Little legs.
Then please don't ever go to someone's house. Don't ever knock on their door. Don't ever ring their doorbell. Don't ever confront them in public. Don't follow their cars. Don't mail stuff to their house. This is not the way to conduct a crowdsourced investigation. The
There you
crowdsourced
go.
investigation is best done when we are all looking at publicly available information. There's plenty of publicly available information. Now, I preface that by saying she did talk to this person, but here's the difference. Here's the key distinction that people often miss. Once the story breaks, you can't contact that person anymore.
Nope.
It's a key distinction.
It's harassment after
she
that.
contacted her after the information was discovered, but before the story broke. Once the story breaks, it's too late to contact the person. So that's critical to me. And it's something that I preach on this program often. You know, we talk about TPUSA employees. Don't contact them. Don't contact them. Now, if you uncover something weird on Twitter or Facebook and no one else has covered it, and you want to reach out to that person and say, hey, I'm looking at this. Do you want to comment on this? Because I think I'm going to go forward with it. That's different. Once it's broken into the public, it's too late.
That's why I do.
It's just too
That's
late.
why I tend to do a lot of live reaction and commentary because I can throw out the alleged opinion stuff. Because it can't be, to be honest, I feel like it can be held less against you when you're going off of a live reaction on something and you're analyzing it from there. When you're going out just straight accusing people with no alleged opinions in the preface of it, gets a little bit sketchy.
At that point to start contacting the person, because I use the rule of 10,000. If you're contacting that person, 9,999 other people are contacting that person, and that's not appropriate. That's not how we do it.
No.
Yes, I stopped this on purpose. This was the famous Perez Hilton leave Britney alone. All right, so here are the beginnings of the exchanges as described by this person in reviewing the public record. These are the first real exchanges after they meet.
Just over a week later, on October 9th, 2013, Jillian tweets, quote, next to Miss Arizona at bar Louie. Jillian then tweeted this, at Erica Fronsby, at Cheyenne Chand. Aw, you're so sweet. Cheyenne is Jillian's friend. I believe they were classmates at the time, so they're the same age, just in case you're wondering. Now, 2 days later, Jillian tweeted, at Erica Fronsby, dying because you're so pretty. Someone, presumably Erica, replied, but then deleted the tweet.
Notice the dates. Notice the dates. This was October of 2013. Watch how long this goes on and watch how it develops over time. That this is so these exchanges are so disturbing, particularly in light of the fact of how many of these replies are hidden or deleted. It is so disturbing to me. This is one of the more disturbing stories I've had to cover since you and I have been together. But this is October of 2013. These are some of their very first discussions together. Some of their very first discussions together.
And Jillian replied, at Erica Fronsby, we miss you too.
So go back to that. What do you think the reply was by Erica Kirk right here, Erica Fronsby at the time, if she says dying because you're so pretty, and then there's a deleted post and she says, we miss you too? I'm guessing she's saying, we miss you, or I miss you, or I miss you guys. My question is, why is someone 25 years old saying that to a 15-year-old? Oh, and just wait, it gets so much worse.
I mean,
miss you too. On October 26,
it's
2013,
obvious they're
Jillian
not
tweeted,
related.
at Erica Fronsby, how you enjoying the Michigan weather? Erica replied, however, the reply is not visible because the account is now private. And Jillian replied, at Erica Fronsby, ah, lucky you. Enjoy it while. On November 7th, 2013, Erica tweeted something that I can't see because her account is private, but Jillian replied saying, at Erica Fronsby, I fell in love with the world in you.
I'm assuming that's some sort of famous quote that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, or
I fell
a music
I
lyric.
fell in love with the world in you. I think I
Fell in love with the world in you. I fell in love with the. A poignant romantic sentiment expressing that a partner embodies everything beautiful, vast, and meaningful about life. It suggests finding peace, light, and sense of belonging in a person, rather than just in external surroundings. This phrase is often used to describe deep emotion or soulful connection. What's up, bud? Fine. Love you, bud. I'm not gonna play it because it's gonna strike me. But lyrics. Hold my hand as I'm lowered, and please don't see me as a coward. Well, I fell in love with the world in you. Actually, we could maybe put it into Spotify. We can listen to it now, but not in the past broadcast. Oops. Is that what it's called? Hold my hand as I'm lowered. The 2008 song. It's definitely something you would send to a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Definitely has that very romanticized feel to it. Yeah, that's definitely a song that you would otherwise send to, or at least you would quote a lyric from this song to someone you were A, wanting to be romantically involved with, or already romantically involved with. This is a very deep, sentimental song. But it's like, it's kind of glorifying death. Like the relationship with death. Hold my hand as I'm lowered, and please don't see me as a coward. For death I do not forsake thee, though your dark stare is always upon me. It's almost like somebody committed suicide. Oh, death, do not feel like the victor, 'cause my poor life makes you none the richer. Oh, your cold hands are clutching at cloth. I leave nothing on earth that won't rot. That's a stretch in your rhyme, but whatever. It's basically a song about suicide. And that's weird. That's really weird. If this is the song that's being quoted, that's really weird. This is a song about suicide. The first line. Really weird.
I looked that up at one point yesterday. Let me look here. I fell in love with the world in you. I think I looked it up. Noah and the whale. I fell in love with the world in you. So it's a song lyric. But again, if I'm 25, and you got to keep this in the same sex, even not same sex, but I mean, keep it in the same sex realm. If I'm 25 and I
don't think he dove into the lyrics. If he dove into the lyrics, he would see how it doesn't fit with something that a 15-year-old would be saying to a 25-year-old, quoting a song lyric of a song that, I'm not gonna say glorifies suicide, but it poeticizes it. So it is very, very weird.
tweet something out and some 15-year-old that I've been communicating with writes me back and says, I fell in love with the world in you, I have to stop communicating with that person entirely. Something has gone terribly awry. Terribly awry.
I have to stop communicating with that individual because something has gone terribly awry.
Something's broken in that societal exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Just trust me, it gets way worse if you've not seen this story. It gets
She
way
also
worse.
tweeted, "Don't care if it's Wednesday or not. She'll always be my woman crush. Can I be you?"
All right. Can't do more of Erica. It's just too much. Oh. New details.
Sinister new details in the double murder of Ohio dentist Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique. Police now believe the accused killer, Monique's ex-husband, cased the couple's home weeks before he allegedly pulled the trigger.
Spencer, what can I say? From day one, I knew you were something special. I had quite a journey.
Columbus Police, Tech 106. Columbus Police, Tech 107.
Yes, I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual.
I'm going to guess that's his voice.
At their home.
What address?
It's North 4th Street.
Exactly. What's going on there?
There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just came here and he appeared.
Oh, these are the 911 calls.
There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood.
A month after the murders of Monique and Spencer Tepe in Columbus, Ohio, new horrific details are emerging. Shot 7 times in the head and chest.
Jeez.
What we've known up until now.
He
Spencer
was?
Shot. Monique Tepe shot 9 times. Her husband Spencer shot a total of 16 times. Monique
Jeez.
Tepe shot 9 times. Her husband Spencer shot 7 times in the head and chest.
What we've known up until
There's
now
nothing,
is that
there was nothing going to sway him from that. That's most of your pistol magazines are 20 to 30 rounds. Oh, wait. No, that's basically a mag dump. 9mm firearm. Okay. So he mag dumped him. If he had an extended magazine, then he would have otherwise not had the reload and still had ammunition left over. That's insane, though. To fire that many shots through a suppressor and no one hears a thing. Yeah. That was one of the original details. So they've recovered the weapon. So dude is cooked. He's 100% cooked. Focus of prosecution remains on unique ballistics of the suppressor-equipped 9mm handgun found at McKee's property, which Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant stated matches the weapon used in the murders. Then why is it, if the weapon matches, the suppressor should like be a complete match? Have they done ballistics tests? That is insane. 16 shots for 2 people, and he shot her 9 times. You can obviously tell who the intended target truly was. He absolutely hated her with that much disdain. And I'd say he probably was carrying a 17-round magazine and only had one left in the chamber in case he was going to get pulled over. So he could have shot him both till they were dead, counted as ammunition, and made it a whole theatrical thing. Left an actual single round in the chamber in case he was pulled over and the whole thing was known and he was now a fugitive. He was probably planning to use that last round, but he got away Scott McKee, or he got away Michael McKee. Got free Michael McKee. It's people are insane, man. People are insane. Like if I just it's just an insane situation that the dude was exposed for being a monster during their marriage. But again, she also did it for the sake of his career. I guarantee you. She gave him the benefit of the doubt for the sake of his career and said that he probably has the possibility of changing and being a better person. And she left it at that during the divorce. And unfortunately, it's come around to bite her. It's very unfortunate. What are the new details? Do you have them up here? No, of course not. You want me to watch the whole thing. I'm not going to do that.
Ex-husband, Dr. Michael McKee, a vascular surgeon, is booked in the Franklin County Jail, charged with multiple counts of aggravated murder.
You can see here, Michael McKee being escorted by deputies at the Franklin County Jail. He's in plain clothes, about to be booked on murder charges.
He's patted down and searched, ending up in just his t-shirt and boxer shorts. Next to him is a blue bag that appears to have whatever belongings he had at the time of his arrest.
Mr. McKee was arrested in Rockford, Illinois without incident. We can also say that multiple weapons were taken from the property of McKee, and there is a preliminary link to one of the weapons that ties it to the homicides.
It's the ex-husband, Dr. Michael McKee. They were divorced 8 years ago. It doesn't make any sense. What could possibly be the motive here?
You have Michael McKee, who's a...
You're not that dumb, are you, guy? There's no way you can be that dumb. I'm dumb, and I know what the answer to that question is without doing any investigation. I mean, because the motive is if he couldn't have her, no one could. That's it. He couldn't get over her. That's it. He couldn't get over her. If he couldn't have her, no one could. No one was going to. That's it.
Vascular surgeon working at a hospital in Rockford, Illinois, living in this
Well, see, they talk about him like he's some overly successful vascular surgeon. He was ducking and dodging a malpractice lawsuit. like one federal background check, grabs a hold of that. Anytime he tries to interview to be a vascular surgeon anywhere, and unless he's popping up little practices here and there and everywhere, which would pop up on some type of federal radar, I'm pretty sure you don't just get the nilly-willy into a building and drop a fat stack of cash and buy a medical practice. A vascular surgical medical practice. While having a malpractice lawsuit hanging over your head. Somebody reaches out to the world of information while something like an active like they were already trying to subpoena him into court for this. Like, he was already kind of a fugitive essentially. And they keep framing him as if he's like some massively successful vascular surgeon. No, he's just like a little secondary villain in a comic book. It's like the setup for the main villain. The dude's just a run-of-the-mill villain. That's the motive. If it was made known back when the divorce happened that what kind of person he was in their marriage, then he may not have been able to do that to her and him. The Tepe family. But instead, she gave him the benefit of the doubt, and he killed her for it. She wrecked it.
Allegedly
For
driving all
her
the
making
way
that decision,
to Ohio to
it essentially
commit
set
these
up their
murders.
entire family to be wrecked.
He pleading not guilty in an Ohio courtroom last month.
Your Honor, with respect to the allegations, we would acknowledge receipt, waive reading, enter not guilty pleas to all counts contained therein.
All right,
Michael
Sporty
McKee and Monique
Spice.
Tepe were briefly married.
Michael McKee was sort of the prototypical popular high school kid. He was a National Merit Scholar, one of the top-ranked people in his class.
Smart.
He was an all-state football player, and then he went to Ohio State University.
Monique and Michael both went to Ohio State University for undergrad. Michael went to medical school while Monique pursued her graduate degree.
Monique and Michael get married. They buy a house in Roanoke, Virginia, which is where Michael is completing his residency to become a vascular surgeon. By all accounts, he's the kind of guy that you'd probably want to date, but the marriage didn't last long. By 2017, they're divorced after only 2 years of marriage.
In looking at the divorce papers, the most remarkable thing is, it's not remarkable. This is a very simple divorce.
They're young, too.
No shared assets, no children, both having separate properties. They are not compatible, and that's it.
But Monique's marriage to Michael
That's a
McKee
benefit
was
of the doubt
allegedly
thing.
far more turbulent than most people knew, according to a recently filed affidavit.
You can see all sorts of accusations about what goes on inside a relationship, inside a marriage, but you don't usually read bombshell accusations that investigators revealed. They said that Monique had told friends he had been abusive and had made numerous threats on her life during and after her marriage, had forced unwanted sex on her, and had strangled her.
Another witness told detectives that Michael McKee had told Monique that he could.
Like, how are they finding out all this? Is this public record or something? Because if it is, it's like, how is this guy not in jail for domestic violence and domestic abuse and rape? you force sex on someone, that is rape. Forced unwanted sex, that's rape. No matter if it's your wife or not, it's rape. So how was this dude not in prison? It's just because he's some vascular surgeon, a run-of-the-mill, every other day vascular surgeon? It's kind of hard to argue for a not guilty plea when your history looks like that. I'm interested to see how they try to spin it. See what they try to latch onto. And even then, even if he didn't kill them, with the kind of background he has, he doesn't belong in regular world. Because he, at that rate, it's just a matter of time before he does kill somebody. But I don't think that, I don't think that he's going to be able to get away with this or get out of it. I think that they're just making sure that there's no holes for him to slither through. Because again, your background is domestic violence, domestic abuse, and rape. You don't need to kill anybody at that rate.
He could kill her at any time and would find her and buy the house right next to her, and that she would always be his wife.
What did I say about he couldn't let go? Could not let go. There's your motive. There is your motive. Gotta get him to talk about that. Get him to talk about why he just couldn't let go. You get him talking about why he couldn't let it go, then he'll probably give you what you need. Because that's the key. The key is him not letting go. I'm pretty sure the investigators already know this. They're just trying to figure out how to work the angle. But yeah, that right there. Ugh.
She only really told those closest to her.
All right.
And so that's why when
we're good with that. We're good with that. All right, let's see what else is next. Yeah, we already did that. Oh. What's chilling about it?
You were looking at the man investigators say is at the center of one of the most disturbing cases to unfold across Indiana and Ohio in years. His name, Tyler Thomas.
Ohio, what are we doing right now? What are we doing? I know DeWine likes to pump bad numbers. Gooey Turd likes to pump bad numbers. But we don't have to actively prove them wrong in murders. What are we doing? Guys. Let's cool it. Let's cool it. Like, we don't have to directly compete with Chicago. We don't have to directly compete with California. Let these places be poop holes. I don't know if DC is safer, but let's not be what DC was before they started saying it's safer. DC was not really a good place. If the statistics were to be believed, I mean, even if they were to bring in the domestic violence deaths as part of the homicide rate, it still wouldn't be as high as past years. But we can't try to break records in that context. Like, the record we should be breaking is how many non-aggressive incidents we have in general in the year. What's up, my man? Into. Love you. Ever staring at me. Right there. He's just staring at me. But yeah, come on, Ohio. Let's get it together, guys and gals and genders of all ages. We got to keep crime under control, man. We should be fighting the evil sickos that are PDF filing children into non-existence. Not filing each other into non-existence.
Expressionless, being booked into a county jail. Police say this man is an online predator, that he lured 17-year-old Haley Busby allegedly out of her home after meeting her online, picking her up, and then weeks later, he led investigators allegedly to the wooded area in Ohio where her remains were found. And
I feel like I've seen this dude before. He looks so familiar. Like, yeah, he kind of looks like Tyler Robinson. Yeah, he kind of looks like Mangione and Tyler Robinson had a baby. And that baby had a baby with Tyler Robinson's boyfriend, girlfriend. Oh, man. What the hell?
now the question investigators haven't answered yet: could this case lead to a homicide charge? And what are authorities now saying as this multi-agency investigation continues to expand? We're on The Case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. It's a story that began weeks ago in Ohio. A discovery that showing the man at the center of the clear. And with his attorney saying that Tyler Thomas maintains that he did not kill Haley Busby, one of the big questions is, where do we go from here? Now, this in Fishers, Indiana, say when they went through the neighborhood looking for clues, detectives identified an unknown vehicle in the neighborhood around the time that Haley disappeared. And that vehicle helped lead them to that 39-year-old man, Tyler Thomas, who lived in Columbus, Ohio. Now, for the next 2 weeks, Haley's words, it's untrue. Allegedly,
maybe it's why
let's just call it what it is. It was a lie.
I've seen, or I've at least seen him before.
Suspect she had left with.
He's a vagrant from Columbus.
We made contact with him in Ohio, and he admitted to picking Haley up at her home. He told us that he dropped her off on the side of the road in western Ohio. However, through continued investigations, his initial story was determined to be untrue.
But where is Haley? That was the question that law enforcement still had at this point. The investigation zeroed in on another location, Police say through technology, likely cell phone pings or financial records, they tracked Thomas to what they were calling a short-term rental property in Hocking County, Ohio, which is a rural county of Haley Busby. I urge the General Assembly to pass a new piece of legislation called Haley's Law. It's aimed at preventing future tragedies like this from ever happening again. Haley's Law focuses on two important points. One, creating pink alerts for missing persons and children when credible risk indicators exist, even if amber or silver alert criteria are not met. And then the second part of it is mandating predator awareness education in Indiana schools focused on online grooming, digital manipulation, and coercive tactics used today. We owe it to our children to do better.
But what is it with the Indiana to Ohio thing? Because Michael McKee drove from Indiana to Ohio to kill somebody. This dude drove from Ohio to Indiana to pick a girl up to kill her. Is Ohio and Indiana in a civil war and we don't know it? Like we're in a shadow civil war. We're just kidnapping and killing each other's children and anybody, I guess, because the Tepe family aren't children. The children were left unharmed. But this child was murdered by this fucking dude. What is going on? All right. We got the gist of that. It's weird. What is that thing? Epstein files, Epstein files. What else you got in the Epstein file? Don't care about the Super Bowl, it's a stupid event. It's a bunch of commercial bullshit that doesn't really matter to anything.
What is this?
Who's big government's good little boy? You are.
Ooh. I don't know why.
He said, ooh.
It's so quiet. Why is everything on Reddit so quiet? What is this?
Who's big government?
Ooh. News. See what else is in the news real quick.
We, the jury, find by a vote of 9-3 that Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death.
Wade Wilson was sentenced to death for the brutal murders of 2 women in one day. Now Wilson is taking his fight to vacate his conviction and set aside his death sentence to a higher court.
The next step for my client and probably for Mr. Hunt is going to be the United States Supreme Court to consider that.
And a woman who dated him speaks publicly for the very first time.
Honestly, I was thinking someone must have stolen this model's pictures or something.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Wade Wilson is on Florida's death row, convicted of murdering 2 women in one day. The crimes rocked Southwest Florida. Who could do such a thing? Prosecutors in Lee County say that Wade Wilson could and did. It happened one day in October 2019. 35-year-old Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz, a 43-year-old woman, they were both murdered after encountering Wilson. Here's some of the opening statement from the state's attorney.
Christine Melton was 35 years old when she died. She was found in her South Cape Coral residence, wrapped in some bedding, tied with some shirts and leggings and a bathing suit top. Her face was black and blue. Her fingernails were broken. She had marks around her neck as she lied on the floor between her bedroom and the kitchen area of her residence. Diane Ruiz was 43 years old. She was found on an empty lot, under some shrubs, under a tree, just lying there. Her nose had been broken. Her hyoid bone and thyroid cartilage had been broken.
Jeez.
She had suffered
A
multiple
lot of force to crush that.
rib fractures, not only front, but also in the back. Now, what you're going to learn during the course of this trial, ladies and gentlemen, is that
Did you hold her
Ms.
down?
Ruiz and Ms. Melton had 3 things in common. Both of them died on the 7th of October of 2019. Both of them had been strangled. And both of them, before they were forever silenced, the last person that they encountered was Mr. Wade Wilson.
At trial, Wilson's attorney didn't even argue that he did not commit the murders.
We're not arguing he didn't do it. There's solid evidence that he is responsible for those 2 deaths and the battery of Miss Montanez. But Miss Montanez's testimony, you need to think about that, whether this was premeditated in terms, I mean, Miss Melton had sex with him. He could have just gotten up and left or stayed with her. Instead, he murders her? That's not clear thinking, shall we say. I'm not arguing insanity. I'm just arguing that the state's claiming premeditation, and I'm saying he's whacked out. He's just out of his mind for any of this.
Wade Wilson's presence in the courtroom captivated people. He could be charming and even cool, earning him the nickname Handsome Devil for his striking looks. His face covered in tattoos that he'd started marking all over his face when he was in jail. But Wilson was a drug addict who started using drugs when he was 13. The cool, charming guy was dangerous, a killer. Wade Wilson's father testified at trial about his adopted son confessing.
Did he end up calling you later that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he tell you in that call that evening?
The final call?
Nope, the call before the final call.
He just told me, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer. I just told him to call me back. I just thought it was another story,
So at this point, when he says that there were 2 people that wouldn't be with us and that he was a killer, did you put a lot of weight into that?
No, ma'am.
Do you think he was just telling you a story?
He's a good storyteller.
So did he then call
He's
you
a
back
good
a third time?
storyteller.
What time did he call you back?
It was around 10 o'clock.
I'm going to go back to that dinner time call. When he talked
He's
about these 2 people who were
definitely-
no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
Psychopath.
So let's go down to the 10 o'clock call. Again, your wife knew about kind of what was going on during that day.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he called back at 10,
His
did he go
lawyer
into more
ain't even
details about what he told you
trying.
earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with the first girl. If you could tell the jurors, what did he tell you?
Damn it.
He just said he met a girl at a bar. They went back to her house, hung out for a little bit, and then she fell asleep.
What did he say happened after she fell asleep?
He said he got on top of her and choked her.
What name did he call her? Did he refer to her in a derogatory term?
He said, I choked that.
And what did he say he did after he choked her?
He said he stayed in the house for a little while, and then he rolled her up and was going to try to put her in her trunk, but he couldn't lift her.
Did he say why he was unable to put her in her trunk?
He said that he felt like rigor mortis had started to set in.
And does rigor mortis make your body stiff? You didn't know?
I think so. Yeah.
So he just told you that that was the reason that he couldn't lift her and get her into her trunk?
Yes, ma'am.
And when he said her trunk, it was the trunk of her car he was going to put her in?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did he tell you he did when he couldn't get her body into her own trunk?
He left her there and took her car.
This is the type of case where checking out someone before you go on a date is the best thing that you can do. Truthfinder is a great way that you can do that. We partner with Truthfinder.
Who you chewing on, Floof? Hey, want this? Floof, you want this? the pie. That's the pie I made. The chocolate banana whipped topping and a pie crust. I actually not completely hardened, but we got some buoyancy. A moment of truth. I put it back in the freezer. I like it. Not overpowering with banana, not overpowering with chocolate. Chocolate is like subtle. Not too rich. And it's essentially the whipped cream is 2 ingredients. Well, this one's 3. This one is chocolate, banana, and heavy whipping cream. My first batch of whipped topping is actually just 2 ingredients. It's heavy whipping cream and chocolate. So good. That's some good stuff. Really good. That's the kind of sweets that I will eat. Not too rich and sweet, but still got a sweetness to it. Sucks I don't have any milk. Really good with some milk. Milk mama. M-I. Milk.
Murder, Christine Melton. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Count 2, grand theft motor vehicle. The defendant is guilty of grand theft motor vehicle. Count 3, battery. The defendant is guilty of battery. Count 4, first-degree murder, Diane Ruiz. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Count 5, burglary of dwelling. The defendant is guilty of burglary of a dwelling. Count 6, first-degree petty theft.
Jeez. Dude's a psychopath. May as well put him on death row. I wonder what elephant in the room we're talking about. Is it on now?
Already done the work for them because there is a bipartisan bill offered by Mr. Massey and Mr. Khanna that would force the administration to release the Epstein files while protecting the victims. And Mr. Comey, just for the record, I think you're not in support of the Massey Khanna bill, but let me ask you formally, do you support the Massey Khanna bill to release the Epstein files?
We're doing that as we speak. And you said some of the documents were going to be released. All 34,000 documents will be online, hopefully in the next 5 minutes if they're not now.
Yeah, but 97% of which we've already seen, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, I just want to add, first, I appreciate the comments, but let's be clear. If it's true, as the chairman said, that every Republican supports disclosure on the Epstein files, then every Republican should sign the discharge petition from Congressman Khanna and Congressman Massey. There's no question. And the key difference in that petition as well is that petition ensures, one, that members of Congress are all on the record on releasing the files, and two, that petition, as you have in front of you, also ensures that the files actually go to the American public. They're actually released to
when?
I appreciate that the subpoena that we forced a vote on is going to our...
It's cool and all, but when? Hey.
What was really going on with Epstein? Because Epstein was more than just a serial pedophile and a pervert.
Miss, I'll have to slow it down. First person I've run into that I can't run it at 2 times speed. Damn, she talk fast.
He was an incredibly powerful man who was, by the way, in multiple instances in the files that were just released, talking about his work for Mossad, talking about his work for the Rothschilds. I mean, it just goes on and on. And so can we discuss the blackmail operation that was taking place and which government that's a special ally of the United States put him up to it? And do we really want to be allies with a country that kidnaps young girls for rape just so they can have dirt on American politicians and control our foreign policy? Spoiler alert, the topic was changed promptly to Epstein's relationship with Russia, and we did not talk about the blackmail operation. But we will be talking about it here on this show. But before...
So, I almost went back. I take it, who's it? All of them, obviously peers. Versus her, or versus these two, or these two versus these three? What's the dynamic here?
young girls for rape just so they can have dirt on American politicians and control our foreign...
Whatever. They're going to talk about... I need them to...
What is this?
You already know that Epstein had ties to Mossad, working for Israel. No matter what they say, it's not some Russia thing. It's the Israel thing. It's the Bibi Netanyahu thing.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. We are continuing to follow the search for Nancy Guthrie 1 week after her disappearance in Tucson, Arizona. The investigation continuing into the apparent kidnapping of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Now, we did get a new update from the Pima County Sheriff just a few hours ago on X. They said the Nancy Guthrie investigation is ongoing. Follow-up continues at multiple locations. No suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles have been identified, and no scheduled press briefings. If anything significant develops, then a press conference will be called. That's according to the Pima County Sheriff just a few hours ago on X. And we also saw video of the search continuing outside of both Nancy's house as well as her daughter Annie Guthrie's house. This is some of that video that the Fox flight team got today. You can see investigators searching what looks like a manhole near Nancy's property, and those cameras capturing, again, searches both at Nancy's property as well as her daughter Annie's. This is a live look right now outside of Nancy Guthrie's home, and another one outside of her daughter's home, where investigators have been again today and for the past several days. So for more on the latest in this investigation, let's bring in a law enforcement expert, Jamie Copenhaver. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Good to be with you, Sean.
So let's start out with the new information that we got today. We have this on X from a Fox News writer saying Fox flight team's drone captured authorities using a pole to probe a manhole located behind Nancy Guthrie's home. So what do you take from this latest in the search, that manhole being investigated near Nancy's home? Also, law enforcement continuing to return not only to Nancy's home, but Annie Guthrie's home, her daughter, almost every day this past week. What do you think this could indicate in the progress of the investigation?
Tells me they're certainly not leaving any stone unturned. And, by the mere fact of these investigators going out and removing manhole covers and by the way, they're running a camera down that manhole to look for items. It could be, it could be an item of the crime. It could be the murder weapon if it was a murder, or it could have been something that was discarded in the toilet that could have been flushed. We just don't know what they're looking for. But the good news is they're leaving no stone unturned to look at these manholes.
And why wouldn't they have looked in this manhole? At least from what we've seen, this appears to be the first time that they've looked at this specific area. What might have led them to uncover this manhole and start looking more deeply into that?
It could have been a tip. It could have been something that the kidnappers may have communicated to Savannah and the family. We don't know. But what we do know is the sheriff has came out and agreed that he released that crime scene way too early. So, they released it back to the family, and shortly thereafter, they came back and rewrote the crime scene. FBI is on the ground. So, the FBI has an amazing evidence
That's
collection
a big-ass house.
They're there doing a one-on-one
That's a
investigation,
huge property.
leaving no stone unturned, and the manhole covers would be encompassed in that search. You just don't know if the bad guy may have discarded something or something was perhaps flushed in the system.
Arizona property?
Clue, if you will, from that manhole.
And what we're watching now is some more of that new footage of today's search outside of Nancy's home. We also want to talk about the video, the newest video that was put out by Savannah and her siblings just last night. Let's play that out for you now, and then we'll get your reaction to some of the very specific wording that was used there. Let's listen to this.
We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
So a lot of people have been talking, especially about the specific wording that was used in that latest video. Some also saying there was somewhat of a change in demeanor versus the previous videos put out by the family. So what do you think about the wording used here, saying that they understand, also that they want to celebrate and get Nancy back to them? What does that indicate here from your experience?
When she uses the word "we understand," I mean, that's a direct answer to what I would say a question or a statement made by someone else, right? So what that telegraphs and tells me is they were having some communication with whoever took Nancy, and they're replying back to that communication via that video that you just saw, gut-wrenching video. The other thing I take away from that video is the first video, they had a little bit more energy, if you will. In this video, if you take a look at the body language, the siblings are pretty much looking down. It's a grim look on their face. When she mentioned the word "so we can celebrate her," the sister, I think, almost lost it when she said that or used those words. So, that was a very telltale video for me. I'm not.
Yeah, they're assuming she's dead. And I mean, if you're in the 8th day, yeah. It's unfortunate, but the likelihood of them finding her alive is dwindling away, unless there's a constant every single day providing evidence of life. That would explain the somber attitude.
I'm not suggesting, and I pray that Nancy is well and alive, but it just doesn't look like it's going to end well based on some of the language in that video.
And when it comes to these videos, we've seen a few different videos put out by the family. How much of an influence does the FBI have in what's written? Of course, they're probably monitoring very closely, but are there specific words or lines that the FBI might tell them to say in these videos, and how much control would they have over what's put out and when the family is putting these out?
I mean, just listening to that from home, it gets you on the edge of your seat, Sean. I mean, it's like gripping, right? So you want to appeal. You want to use key words that would perhaps build a rapport with the kidnapper, kidnappers in this case. You want to become human. She even mentioned we're human, we're normal, we're average people, right? You want to kind of put yourself on the level of the kidnapper to show that, your mother is the most important thing in your life, and you're holding our mother. So, they're appealing to this kidnapper or the group or whoever is responsible for this. To answer your question in terms of FBI having a role in this, I can assure you that was read over many times by the
Why,
agents to make sure
though?
there was nothing in there that would incite or upset the kidnappers. You don't want to go out there and blast the kidnappers because it probably wouldn't end well with that. So, it's basically textbook from the FBI standpoint from Quantico. And I can assure you the behavioral agents from Quantico are on the ground and they're guiding those agents into what response to get to these kidnappers in these ransom letters.
And we always hear in these missing persons and kidnapping cases how crucial time and urgency can be. Now that it's been 8 days, we are entering day 8 of the search for Nancy Guthrie. Still no suspects, according to the Pima County Sheriff just a few hours ago. How does that affect law enforcement's approach now that we're so many days out from the last time Nancy was seen?
I read in that a couple of different ways, Sean. And number one, they were a deadline with a consequence. Now, we don't know what that consequence was, but the deadline came and gone, right? So the new deadline is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. They indicate what we understand. There's a consequence connected to the deadline tomorrow. So what that does, it gives law enforcement a little bit more time in that window to work their leads and work their case because they know they have a second deadline and it's Monday morning, right? So it gives them a little bit more time to amp up their investigation. Time is not, I don't think, is on her side, though. If you recall, she's on a pacemaker. She's on heart medicine, other medications that tell me that she has a severe heart ailment, if you will. So, it's unknown if the kidnappers actually took her medicine with them. But we do know that Nancy needs her medicine, so that certainly plays into the timeline as an urgent find for law enforcement to make sure she is safe.
And these deadlines that you're talking about, of course, multiple outlets have received alleged ransom letters over this past week.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Made demands for money and
It's
also
not a
established two separate
positive
deadlines. One of them
situation
was Thursday
for her.
evening. The other, as you mentioned, is coming up on Monday. What exactly would those deadlines entail, and how much would law enforcement be trying to adhere to these deadlines?
Not positive. I would like to be, but we got to be realistic. New release files under the 2025 Epstein Transparency Act, whatever. The day before Epstein was discovered unresponsive at 6:30 a.m. on August 10th at the correction facility. Public version dated August 10th noted he had been taken to a hospital amid reports describing it as a draft prepared in the case's chaos. Described how officials used boxes and sheets in a white van to distract media while Epstein's real remains left in a black vehicle, aligning with prior findings of jail lapses but no new evidence against the suicide ruling. Due to the large news media presence outside MCC, a male OCME official called and said he would be arriving at the loading dock with a black vehicle. In order to thwart the media, blank, blank, and blank used boxes and sheets to create what appeared to be a human body, which was put into the white OCME vehicle which the press followed, allowing the black vehicle to depart unnoticed with Epstein's body. Mm-hmm. And whether it's real or not is To be discovered. Even more places are saying it. I mean, it looks eerily similar. It's hard to argue that that's not him. Oh. There we go.
Okay, so that angle I got yesterday was really good, and it definitely looked like Jeffrey Epstein. But the angle that they put out today, no doubt in my mind, that is 1000% Jeffrey Epstein. Doesn't look like anybody else. But what I keep coming back to, you guys, is Epstein's been passed for like almost 7 years. So why now that they released all, quote unquote, of the Epstein files, does this homeless guy who looks just like Jeffrey Epstein make a public appearance? I know I'm not the only one that feels like that's just a pretty crazy coincidence. Oh, yeah, they conveniently got like 4 or 5 different shots of him not trying to hide or do anything at all. Just walking around in broad daylight. Nothing happens for a reason. It's probably all just a huge coincidence.
I mean, it does look eerily similar to him. Yeah. Try to bomb his way out of it. That doesn't prove anything. I mean, it just proves that somebody bought V-Bucks. That's it. Doesn't prove it was Epstein who bought him. Because why all of a sudden they redact his name off of that and they don't redact his name on anything else? Oh, we already seen that. Should I ask David Fitzel what he thinks about this? Please advise. Thank you. I think someone should buy some Activision. This is from the analyst who gave us the Polish gaming stock. The Call of Duty release is expected to be in late October. Sounds like they have successfully integrated the Battle Royale Fortnite formatted into the latest COD game. I would start with 1 million. Coming up on midnight.
Think they found a code word for human meat? Wait, what?
No, I don't think beef jerky is adrenochrome. But I mean, that does make sense. You would want to keep this cold. You want it to be in cold insulated bags. All right. It looks like it's kind of a dry Sunday. We just watched that. Yeah, we watched the thing with him. Yep. The war on hot women. Mhm. Damn it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm go much further. I am exhausted. Been a long day. Been a long weekend. Head on crash. Hmm. Heard saw that. Hmm. Sucks. What the hell they're gonna do? Ghislaine Maxwell. When?
Ghislaine Maxwell is just days away from her first congressional deposition in the Jeffrey Epstein case. This comes as the
Days away? Okay, it's not today.
Dude, are they still mad about Burnt Peanut? Oh no. So we've had a new episode of Hose Mad, and people are mad at Burnt Peanut. Burnt Peanut was the most watched Twitch streamer in January, beating Asmongold, Hassan, and XQC. Good for him. W. Amazing. I've seen his streams. They're great. So he's been doing really well. He's doing good for himself. He's popping off. He's doing work. Everything like he's a popular streamer. Yeah, bungalators. Exactly. So instead of being happy for another guy's success, instead of being happy for somebody who's, you know, like working hard and being consistent and everything like that, they're making up bullshit. They're saying that he is a view botter. This dude is a view botter. There's no way he randomly comes out of nowhere, gets popular in the normie space, peaks out of 100,000 viewers, yet his chat is more stale and dead than someone with under 500 viewers. Also, I got permabanned for saying view botting. He's not trying to defend himself. Why the fuck would he have to defend himself about you?
They're gonna clip whatever I say anyways. Might as well make it good. You guys mind if I be a little unhumble for a second? Guys, I don't like being unhumble. I just like hanging out with you boys and gaming, but I kind of got to. Just for like a second, guys.
That's the same
It's not
thing
gonna be too crazy. I just kind of got you. Guys, I call view botting the loser's topic. That's what I call it.
Yep.
You have too many viewers, not enough likes, you're view botting. You have too many viewers, you have too many likes, you're like botting. You have too many viewers, you don't have enough.
It's so obvious whenever somebody's actually view botting, by the way. Like, anybody who actually understands data knows that's the case.
subscribers, your view button. You have too many viewers, too many subscribers, your subscribe button. You have too many viewers on Twitch, you'll have as much viewers on Kick, your view button on Twitch. If you have too many viewers on YouTube, but you don't have as many viewers on Twitch, your view button on YouTube. You can spin it any way you can. At the base of it, it's hope.
That's right. At the base of it, it is hose mad, hose jealous, people that are trying to tear somebody down because they don't like what that person represents for whatever reason is out there. That's it.
The base of the argument, it's cope. There's no way to prove anyone is view botting or if they're not. There's no way to prove it.
Well, there is. I mean, you can't, like, I mean, I think that there are degrees of certainty. There are definitely degrees of certainty with view botting. Like, for example, with F Extra Life, it was very obvious. Well, that was embedding, to be fair. But, like, with other streamers, like, there are, like, telemetry points that you can use. It is. And like, there are, like, acceptable levels and unacceptable levels. Like, you can be, let's say, 10% sure. You can be 90% sure. To say that there's no variation is not true. But there is, like, very rarely can you actually approach and actually reach 100%.
Either way it is. It's, even an OnlyFans lady only appeals to like 50% of the population that likes pussy.
Yeah.
This is a real loser topic. You're appealing to human jealousy?
Yeah.
That's been around since they invented the wheel. Of course your post is going to blow up. It's a bunch of other losers coping at the same time all together. It's like a party.
Absolutely. And that's it. And the other reason why is that you have to keep in mind that once you understand that most hate on the internet is actually self-therapy in disguise, everything else begins to make a lot more sense. So basically, the reason why people like the idea of tearing down Peanut is because he's a person who's built his success as something that is totally intrinsic to his own personality. There's nobody who can say that, oh, well, I can't afford an expensive VTuber rig. Oh, I'm not a girl. Oh, I'm not an attractive woman, so I can't do it with a webcam. Oh, I'm not a very good, I'm not a very good video game player. There is nothing that is holding anybody back from being the next Burnt Peanut. And that's the reason why they hate him. They hate him because he represents their own mediocrity. Because every single person deep down inside knows that they could probably do what Burnt Peanut is doing in terms of function, right? There's no barrier to entry preventing them from making a Burnt Peanut style VTuber model and then streaming Arc Raiders. But why is it that he's successful and they're not? Well, they have to come up with a reason for that that removes their own accountability from the equation. And what is that equation? Viewbotting. Or variable, I guess. What is that variable? It's viewbotting. That's it. And once you understand the psychology of Twitter haters, everything else makes sense.
How it works. I mean, come on. I mean, is there anything lower? Is there anything lower? Jesus. Oops. Anyways, is there anything lower? Is there anything lower? Jesus Christ. Is there anything lower? Let me expand on that. Again, I hate to be unhumble. I hate it. But guys, we switched to Brazilian servers. Somebody says you and Burnt Peanut are very talented to yap for hours. No. Yapping for hours is not an intrinsic talent. Like, for example, there are women who are just very attractive. Like, it's spawn RNG whether a woman has big boobs or not, right? I mean, it is. It's spawn RNG. So if you're a woman and you're born and you're ugly, you have an innate biological disadvantage. This is an insurmountable innate biological disadvantage. There will always be things that, attractive women will have an opportunity to do that you will never have an opportunity to do because of straight up spawn RNG. That's the way it is. And so all women are beautiful? Sure, right? And so anyway, my point is that, and this is the same with guys too, obviously, like with height, for example. Like if you're a 5'2" guy, your life, you spawned on hard mode. You spawned in Fortnite and you opened up a chest and it was a gray pistol. Actually, it wasn't. It was ammo for a gray pistol. That's it. That's all you got. Oh, and maybe you got one of the dancing bombs too. And that's it. That's all you get. And so,
it's ammo
and so
for
there are
a
all
gray
these RNG
pistol.
elements. And so what people on Twitter like to do is they like to attribute their lack of success to RNG elements in life and then blame those RNG elements instead of the things that they can control. That's my point.
Switch to European servers. We switched to a server called Oceanic. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I can't find a single fucker on any continent on this planet that doesn't know who we are.
There it is.
You can say an I view button. Sorry, I had to get humble right there. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to.
It's obvious. It's obvious. I think it's 100% viewbotting now. Retards, bro. Retards. Well, I'm going to say you're viewbotting. I'm right or you're lying. Okay. Great talk. Good conversation. Very productive. And so anyway, but talent is...
Good conversation. Very productive. People are always mad about dumb shit. Heyo, there's a symbol.
The was fired after airing this segment exposing Pizzagate.
Well, Pizzagate became a major story weeks ago when an armed man decided to invest.
We went over that. She killed herself.
This is a newly released, handwritten note made by Virginia Giuffre. The vocal and visible accuser of Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and Ghislaine Maxwell was found dead at her home in Australia over the weekend. Some, including her own father, have reportedly questioned how Virginia died. And now we're diving into her own words and what they mean about her life and what she was going through when she passed away. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. We just got to many people are coming to grips with the reality that Giuffre has passed away weeks after it came to light that she was in the middle of a custody dispute with her now estranged husband and was involved in a mysterious bus accident that put her in the hospital. On April 25th, Giuffre was found dead at her home outside Perth, Australia. Giuffre was American, but she moved to Australia in 2020 with her husband. The couple had 3 children, all teenagers. Giuffre and her husband had been in the middle of a custody dispute at the time of her death. There are some people who are close to Virginia Giuffre who have raised questions about how she died. For example, her dad told TMZ that he wants a deeper investigation by Australian authorities. He points to social media posts like this one from 2019 where his daughter writes, quote, "I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." Giuffre's lawyer also spoke to UK media outlet The Sun and said, quote, "When I got the call, I was like, are you joking?" Because there was no sign that that was something she was considering. Giuffre is one of, if not the most well-known accuser of Jeffrey Epstein. She claims that Epstein trafficked her when she was a minor.
She also accused Prince Andrew of Britain's royal family of having sex with her when she was underage at 17 years old. This is the now infamous picture that was included in her lawsuit against the prince. It shows Giuffre and Prince Andrew and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell smiling at the camera in the background. Prince Andrew and Giuffre settled out of court in 2022 after she sued Andrew the year prior. It has never been made public how much money Andrew gave Giuffre to settle those claims, but we'll talk about the circumstance that could finally bring that number to light in just a moment. Prince Andrew has denied sleeping with Giuffre. In fact, he's denied ever meeting her. In a now infamous 2019 interview with the BBC, he said this about Virginia Giuffre when she accused him of having sex with her in 2001 in London.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
Giuffre had claimed that the prince bought her drinks and they dined together and they danced together at a posh, members-only nightclub in London. Prince Andrew said he never spent time with Giuffre, and he claimed that on the date that she claimed that they were together, he was actually with his kids. He went on to say that he didn't know where the bar was at that nightclub because he doesn't drink. And in what was an infamous moment as part of this infamous interview, Andrew disputed Giuffre's description of him profusely sweating. He said this to the BBC in that 2019 sit-down interview.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I just have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
Giuffre claimed that she met the prince through Ghislaine Maxwell. The former socialite is now a convicted sex offender. She is living a much different life these days. Here's her mugshot from 2022 at the Metro Detention Center in New York. She is currently serving 20 years in prison on 5 sex trafficking charges related to the now dead financier, Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein, of course, died in his jail cell in 2019 after he was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. The medical examiner said he hung himself. But of course, there have been questions surrounding Epstein's death and whether that actually happened. But Epstein's death isn't the only one that has raised questions and brought even more attention to this story. Giuffre now joins a tragic list of people associated with the late financier. According to Fox News, Virginia Giuffre is the third accuser of Jeffrey Epstein to die. But in life, Virginia Giuffre was not afraid to speak her mind, to first accuse people powerful and the people connected to the powerful like Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. Giuffre told CBS News this in 2020 about Maxwell.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did.
In the wake of Giuffre's allegations and the out-of-court settlement, Prince Andrew resigned from public roles with the royal family in 2020. His mom, Queen Elizabeth, stripped Andrew of his royal and military titles in 2022 before she died later that year. Virginia Giuffre has been hailed by her supporters as a fighter for people who have survived sexual violence. Giuffre's sister-in-law, Amanda Roberts, posted this journal entry.
I mean, this woman died for this fight. Like, these people will kill people to keep this stuff hush hush. Yeah, I think it is. It is bedtime. So we're gonna pick it up tomorrow. Tomorrow's a long day. Might do a little bit of time before class. Depends on how fast I can get done with my pre-lab. Because it might be a bigger lab since it's the second lab. So we'll just see. It'll be a tentative. I need to do some editing. Yeah, I have so much stuff to edit. So I might do that after my pre-lab tomorrow morning. So till then, have a good night. Peace out, Girl Scout.